I come here today to tell you about Flabby Bits. I'm Jakira Black, and a couple of weeks ago I went to a literary event in Lancaster where a friend of mine was interviewing two authors. And one of the questions he said, and this was to do with novels versus short stories, was about flabby bits in novels. And what his point was that a short story has to not have any flabby bits, whereas there can be flabby bits in a novel because obviously it's a longer piece of work. And after taking the mickey out of him for saying about flabby bits of novels, I started thinking about it, and I was thinking, well, actually, you know, there are flabby bits in novels that need to be removed. So I thought that I would talk about some, and there might be more that I haven't thought of, which you could comment on. But first of all, the first flabby bit that I want to talk about, which needs to be cut out, is word choice, adverbs, adjectives, probably other things that I can't think of at the moment, ing words, you know, just words that don't need to be there, words like then, you know, start, about to start, or, you know, just words that don't actually, that, you know, you could cut out, and the story would actually be, in the writing, the narrative would be actually a lot clearer. But if we concentrate on adverbs and adjectives, you know, adverbs are things like, he said angrily. Yeah, just let his words speak for him. Give him angry words, and then you don't have to say, he said angrily, because I don't want to read, he said angrily. I just want to hear his words. I want to see his reactions. I want to hear him putting someone down. I want to see him slamming his fist on a table. I don't want to hear, he said angrily. And adjectives. Yeah, obviously we want descriptions, and we want to know what the author is communicating to us. But adjectives slow the pace down, and, you know, I think sometimes that sentences just need to be rephrased, so you've got the description there, but it's not got a describing word. You know, things like, brown eyes. You know, do we really need to know they've got brown eyes? And I can't actually think. Greasy skin. Describe the shine on his skin. Don't say greasy skin. Sweaty armpits. Tell us about his sweaty armpits. Smelly feet. Please don't include smelly feet. Please. But if you have to, tell us what his feet smell like. Don't just tell us that he's got smelly feet. Please don't tell me what his feet smell like. So next flabby bit is purple prose. That elaborate, fussy writing that just goes over. It comes across as the author is just trying far too hard. They're coming out with all this flowery language to try to communicate something, and what actually happens is what they're trying to communicate gets lost in the elaborateness. Don't do it. Cut it out. Make your descriptions or whatever you're saying, make it simpler. Don't use purple prose. Weak characters. You know, there's nothing more boring than reading about a weak character that you just want to slap. And yes, okay, sometimes, you might have a weak character that you want to slap, and that's, they grow and they, come into their own. Yes, fine. But if they're always pointless from beginning to end, and they've got no real point to beginning the novel, they're not part of the actual main plot, why include them? Why? Just don't. So another Flabby Bit, and I'm getting a dry throat, is unneeded plot lines and scenes, basically. Those things that you've got in your story that don't add anything to the story. You've got alien invasion and the teenagers decide to go swimming. No thanks. I want to know how they're running away from the aliens. I don't want to see them going swimming. I mean, yeah, you can sometimes, and if you have to do them, then make sure that they actually relate to the story. But don't just include something as filler, because that's what it is. And, if anyone's like me, they're going to stop reading, because I will stop reading. I haven't got time or patience for reading filler. Backstory. Now, we all include backstory in our novels because sometimes you have to. But sometimes people put so much backstory in it at the beginning, it's like, just get on with the story. So, balance it. Don't have too much backstory. Split up the backstory if there is a lot of it, and have it paced throughout the beginning of your novel. Try not to have too much backstory, because just because you know it doesn't mean that we need to know it. Is it important? If it's not important to the reader to know that, then cut it out. Don't tell us. You know it. That's all that matters. You know that she used to be a nun. We don't need to know, unless it's important to the story. And with the same thought in mind, don't start with a large chunk of description. Please. Just don't. Don't have the fog rolling over the hills and going down and meandering down the hill, and you come into a village and there's a duck pond and there's this and that, and finally it sort of settles in front of a wooden door where, yeah, right, okay, that's nice, yeah, give me action, please. So don't. I mean, yeah, we all need description because we need to set the scene. But how much do we actually need at the beginning? Isn't it better just to get straight into the story? So a line, 2 lines of description, preferably not smoke coming down a mountain. Well, fog coming down a mountain. Unless it's sentient fog and it's going to take over the people in the village, then it's okay. So there, that's 7 Flabby Bits in novel, and there are far, far more. Things like pace and getting your POV, your point of view mixed up, probably your voice, having your voice be heard. And when I say your voice, I don't mean your actual physical voice, I mean your writing voice, but you know that already. So yeah, that's 7 flabby bits and a few little tiny bits. So yeah. Okay, bye.